G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aaron Whitnall, this is ACWSport and week 19 of the Premier League season. So Manchester City set yet more records and the rest of the chasing pack, aside from Spurs, all bottle it. Because they all drop points and in some style as well. However, there is only one place to start, and that is at the Emirates, which produced one of the games of the season between Arsenal and Liverpool. Liverpool were absolutely cruising. In the first half, it could have easily been 4-5-0 at half-time. It was just completely one-way traffic. Liverpool taking the lead through Philippe Coutinho after going close a couple of times before that. And then after that, they just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Salah missed them one-on-one. Mane somehow missed an open goal because he was trying to be smart by doing a bicycle kick when he should have just simply volleyed it in or tapped it in. That really cost Liverpool. He made another massive error like that against Everton when he shot instead of passing it. So at the moment, Mane has to really win some Liverpool fans back because he's cost them big time, because that surely would have been game, dead match. However, Liverpool came out, carried on, went 2-0 up through Salah, his 21st of the season, just incredible. And then an unbelievable 5 minutes took place, because only 388 seconds after Liverpool took a 2-0 lead at the Emirates, Arsenal found themselves 3-2 up, thanks to quick fire goals from Alexis Sanchez, then Granit Xhaka with a 30-yard pelter that, to be honest with you, Mignolet completely spilt. Just bizarre goalkeeping. Only went up with one hand to try and save it, and with the wrong hand as well. Why didn't just go with both hands? That brought it level, and then moments after that, Lacazette with a beautiful back heel through to Mesut Ozil, who dinked it over Mignolet in the Liverpool goal to make it 3-2 Arsenal. The Emirates erupted. It was incredible to be there. Yeah, I had the pleasure of being at this game. Here's the view that I had. It was just unbelievable. But Liverpool, they came back into it through Firmino and got level. But Liverpool they bottled it, and Arsenal got incredibly lucky in this game. Yeah, all right, those 5 minutes were spectacular, but even after that, it was pretty much the Liverpool show, and Arsenal did well to hold on, in my opinion. The only bright spark for Arsenal, for me, aside from those 5 minutes, was Jack Wilshere, who for me was brilliant. He was Arsenal's man of the match, deserved man of the match in this game, because I thought he was the best player on the pitch. If he stays like this, he stays fit. There's no way Wenger can drop him, and he has to go to the World Cup. But yeah, it was just great to see Wilshere playing the way that he did. But as for Liverpool, there's got to be some big questions asked, because they have now lost a stonking 43 points from winning position since Jurgen Klopp took over. And that is more than any other team in Europe has done. And you just wonder what could have been, really, with Klopp and Liverpool, because if they had managed to hold on to those points, you wonder what Liverpool could have won in that time. But yeah, massive, massive blow for Liverpool. Great result for Arsenal, considering how poorly they played, really. But yeah, what a game. What a 5 minutes to watch, especially in the middle there. Another team that bottled it, that was part of the chasing pack, were Manchester United. They could only draw 2-2 at Leicester after conceding a 94th minute equaliser through Harry Maguire. But Leicester had taken the lead thanks to a wonderful counter-attack. Jamie Vardy getting on the score sheet. And I just can't talk highly enough of Vardy. I just love him. When you consider his journey in football, and you look at the record he has against the big teams, especially Man United. He scored his first ever Premier League goal against them. Last night he scored his 50th Premier League goal for Leicester against them. It was Vardy's 50th Premier League goal overall in the Premier League, and he actually becomes the first Leicester player to score 50 goals in the Premier League, which is amazing. But then you look at his record overall, and against the top six in 41 games, Vardy has scored 22 goals. Compare that to Lukaku, who's worth £70 million plus Wayne Rooney. He's only scored 5. So that shows you how good Vardy is, especially in the big games. But when you consider his record overall in the Premier League, it's something like 1 goal in just over every 2 games. That is unbelievable. So yeah, congratulations to Jamie Vardy. Big point for Leicester as well. Means they bounced back in style after they were humbled at home to Crystal Palace last week. United, it's just a disappointing night for them. They rued some terrible chances that they missed, especially Lingard effectively missing an open goal from a few yards out, hitting the post. Rashford hit the woodwork as well. Lukaku missed a chance. Mkhitaryan squandered a chance. But if it wasn't for Juan Mata, a man that I keep saying needs to start for United, because he is their creative gem. He is wonderful to watch playing. His free kick was glorious. Even his first finish was a lovely finish. He doesn't get the credit he deserves and doesn't play enough for me at United. But yeah, it's just one of those games where United are going to rue the missed chances, and it's cost them big time because they could have gone 5 points clear in second place over Chelsea. However, Chelsea also bottled it. They drew 0-0 away at Everton. This is a great point for Everton when you consider, go back a few weeks back, Everton were in the relegation zone. They're now chasing down Burnley and Leicester as well. Unbeaten since Big Sam took over, and when you consider Big Sam's taken on two big teams now, he's picked up 2 points as well. No one would have thought that a few weeks ago. You can't really say he's not doing a good job. I can understand why Everton fans are frustrated that they didn't have a single shot on target and he was playing for the draw, but you've got to take into consideration he was missing Rooney. And to be honest with you, his attacking options aside from Rooney just aren't really that good when you consider they didn't really replace Lukaku. But at the same time, Chelsea as well, they will feel that this is a massive chance squandered because they could have got some more daylight between them, Liverpool, Tottenham and Arsenal. But the problem for them is when Morata's injured, Conte just doesn't have a striker he believes in. He clearly doesn't believe in Batshuayi because he never starts him. Bought him on late. And yeah, look, Chelsea, they were okay. Pickford made some good saves. How he's not England's number one yet, it's beyond me. Apparently Butland's going to be England's number one, which baffles me when you consider Stoke have conceded more goals than any other team in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong, Butland's a good goalkeeper. It is more the defence. But seriously, look at these performances Pickford's putting in. But yeah, Chelsea need another striker as well if they're going to compete for the Premier League next season. Because let's face it, they're out of it. United are out of it. Liverpool and Arsenal are out of it. Tottenham are out of it. The gap between Liverpool and City now is 20 points at Christmas. That is ridiculous. But yeah, just massive chances blown from all of those clubs. However, now I'm going to get on to teams that actually won. Starting with the league leaders, Manchester City, who now have a 13-point lead at the top of the Premier League after beating Bournemouth 4-0. Now, the odds are always stacked against Burnley because they have an English manager, and that's because the last English manager to win at the Etihad was Harry Redknapp back in 2010 when Spurs won their 2-1 and sealed their Champions League place. But City are just a different animal, aren't they? Aguero was on top form, and when he's on top form, you just can't stop him. He should have had 4 goals in this game. He had to settle for a brace, but his 100th and 101st goals at the Etihad in a City shirt. Great little landmark for him. Danilo also got in the act, scoring his first goal for Manchester City, and City are now the first team to score 100 goals in top flight football in England since Liverpool did in 1982. Fantastic record they've broken there. And the lead that they have, 13 points at the top of the Premier League, is the biggest lead at Christmas in the top flight in English footballing history. So yet again, City setting records, and it's just got to be a matter of time before they'll win something. You imagine they'll get past Bristol in the League Cup, unlike United did. Another team that won out of the big boys was Spurs. They picked up a big win at Burnley thanks to their talisman, Harry Kane. He scored another hat-trick, his 7th hat-trick of 2017, and he has now equalled Alan Shearer's record for the most Premier League goals in a calendar year at 36 goals, with a couple of games in hand as well. So you would have thought he would beat that on Boxing Day when Spurs host Southampton at Wembley. But overall, good performance from Spurs. Dele Alli again getting a bit lucky to stay on the pitch. He's really got to watch himself. But yeah, this win really gets Spurs back on track. They're right amongst it again with Liverpool and Arsenal, chasing down Liverpool for that 4th spot. They're level on points with Arsenal again, only 1 point behind Liverpool. And you just wonder with the fixtures Tottenham have got coming up, whether or not a win like this can really boost their confidence again and they can break into that top 4 before the end of the year. So we will have to see. Now focusing on the bottom half of the Premier League. And for a start, West Ham, after the wonderful run they've been on recently, blew it at home to Newcastle. Newcastle running out 3-2 winners in what was a cracking game. But this was a massive win for Newcastle. They're first in 9 games. And this now moves them above West Ham and Crystal Palace in the Premier League table. They're 2 points clear of the bottom 3 as well. I've got to give a real shout out to Christian Atsu because he looked brilliant in this game. Took his goal well and really caught the West Ham on the counter-attack brilliantly. There's also a wonderful free kick scored in there as well. I think it was by Samier, by the guy. He made the mistake for Arnautovic to score in the 6th minute, but made up for it in some style. But I just wonder what the tactics are sometimes for West Ham. The thing that baffles me is you've got someone like Javier Hernandez, who I'm a big fan of, who's done so well for so many clubs in the past, Real Madrid, Man United and Bayer Leverkusen. He's been brought into West Ham and he's just been phased out. And I just do not understand why. I mean, under Bilic, they're playing him as a left winger. He's never been a left winger. He's a striker. And he's a proven striker. He scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League and in the Bundesliga before. So it just baffles my mind that, you know, someone of his class is starting on the bench in such a big game when this win could have really taken West Ham clear of the drop zone. But, you know, David Moyes is going to have to rue some, questionable decisions for me. But, you know, Newcastle were good for that win. Especially after, obviously, they had a penalty given against them that wasn't a penalty. It was a good save by the goalkeeper at it. Then on to Stoke versus West Brom. Stoke winning 3-1 in this game. It was a massive win for them. Gets them up the table and obviously relieves some of that pressure that's on Mark Hughes. I think they'll kind of just look to get to the new year and then maybe kind of see it as a bit of a fresh start in the new year for them. As for West Brom, second from bottom, I just don't see how they're going to survive. So yeah, it's a shame that West Brom, for me, I think they're going to go down. It's going to take a bit of a minor miracle for me to get them back into the Premier League, especially when they're missing chances like the one Rondon did against Stoke as well. Then Southampton, they drew 1-1 at home to Huddersfield. Excuse me, got a bit of an itch. Charlie Austin, again on the score sheet. De Potter, again on the score sheet for Huddersfield. It's another good away point for them. Keeps them in mid-table. But the big talking point from this game is Charlie Austin's little fleck out of the goalkeeper when the goalkeeper clearly had the ball in his hands. Cut the goalkeeper on the nose. Obviously, Austin went off later on in the game through injury, but you do wonder if he should have been sent off for that because he did make the goalkeeper's face bleed. You just wonder if there could be an FA charge coming his way because of that. However, the other kind of big win in the middle of the table came at Brighton, who beat Watford. Now, this is a massive win for Brighton because it only puts them 1 point behind Watford. Watford are really, really sliding now. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Brighton, though, could have had 6. Watford were awful in this game. But the reason it's such a big win for them is because Brighton have struggled to capitalise on playing some of the weaker Premier League teams at home. So yeah, big win for Chrissy Hughton. Keeps Brighton in the middle of the table and keeps them well clear of that drop zone, which is very, very important. And then the final game this week saw Swansea draw 1-1 at home to Crystal Palace. Palace, with the form they've been in recently, would have seen this as a couple of points massively drop for them. But, you know, it was a wonderful go from Ayew to get Swansea back into the game and secures them a massive point that could be, vital come the end of the season. But unfortunately, they do spend Christmas bottom of the Premier League. And that pretty much sums up everything that happened in Week 19 of the Premier League table. Do you agree with the points I've had to make about all the action that happened? What were your major talking points? Please comment below, let me know. As always, I'm Aaron Whitnall, and I'll see you again soon with my Week 20 Premier League predictions.